Fight until complete victory. Compatriots and fighters throughout the country. The barbarous U.S. imperialists have unleashed a war of aggression in an attempt to conquer our country, but they are sustaining big defeats. They have rushed an expeditionary corps of about 300,000 men into the southern part of our country. They have used a puppet administration and a mercenary army fostered by them as instruments of their aggressive policy. They have resorted to extremely savage means of warfare, toxic chemicals, napalm bombs, and so forth. With such crimes they hope to subdue our southern compatriots. But under the firm and wise leadership of the NFLSV, the South Vietnam Army and people, closely united and fighting heroically, have scored very glorious victories and are determined to struggle until complete victory with a view to liberating the South, defending the North, and subsequently achieving national reunification. The U.S. aggressors have brazenly launched air attacks on North Vietnam in an attempt to get out of the quagmire in the South and to impose negotiations on us on their terms. But North Vietnam will not falter. Our army and people have shown redoubled eagerness in the emulation to produce and fight heroically. So far we have blasted out of the skies more than 1,200 aircraft. We are determined to defeat the enemy's war of destruction and at the same time to extend all-out support to our dear compatriots in the South. Of late the U.S. aggressors hysterically took a very serious step further in the escalation of the war. They launched air attacks on the suburbs of Hanoi and Haiphong. That was an act of desperation comparable to the agony convulsions of a grievously wounded wild beast. Johnson and his clique should realize this. They may bring in 500,000 troops, 1 million, or even more to step up the war of aggression in South Vietnam. They may use thousands of aircraft for intensified attacks against North Vietnam. But never will they be able to break the iron will of the heroic Vietnamese people to fight against U.S. aggression for national salvation. The more truculent they are, the further they will aggravate their crime. The war may still last 10, 20 years, or longer. Hanoi, Haiphong, and other cities and enterprises may be destroyed, but the Vietnamese people will not be intimidated. Nothing is more precious than independence and freedom. When Victory Day comes, our people will rebuild our country and endow it with bigger and more beautiful construction. It is common knowledge that each time they are about to step up their criminal war, the U.S. aggressors always resort to their peace talks swindle in an attempt to fool world opinion and blame Vietnam for unwillingness to enter into peace talks. President Johnson, reply publicly to the American people and the peoples of the world, who has sabotaged the Geneva Agreements which guarantee the sovereignty, independence, unity, and territorial integrity of Vietnam. Have Vietnamese troops invaded the United States and massacred Americans? Is it not the U.S. government which has sent U.S. troops to invade Vietnam and massacre the Vietnamese? Let the United States end its war of aggression in Vietnam, withdraw from this country all U.S. and satellite troops, and peace will return here at once. Vietnam's stand is clear. It is the 4 points of the government of the DRVN and the 5 points of the NFLSV. There is no alternative. The Vietnamese people cherish peace, genuine peace, peace in independence and freedom, not sham peace, American peace. For the defense of the independence of the fatherland and for the fulfillment of our obligation to the peoples struggling against U.S. imperialism, our people and army, united as one man, will resolutely fight until complete victory, whatever the sacrifices and hardships may be. In the past we defeated the Japanese fascists and the French colonialists in much more difficult junctures. Today the conditions at home and abroad are more favorable. Our people's struggle against U.S. aggression for national salvation is sure to win a total victory. Dear compatriots and fighters, we are strong with our just cause, the unity of our entire people from north to south, our traditions of undaunted struggle, and the broad sympathy and support of the fraternal socialist countries and progressive people throughout the world. We will win. At this new juncture, we are as one in our determination to undergo any hardships and sacrifices and to strive for fulfillment of the glorious historic task of our people to defeat the U.S. aggressors. On behalf of the Vietnamese people, I take this opportunity to express warm thanks to the peoples in the world, including the American people, for their devoted support and assistance. In face of the new criminal schemes of the U.S. imperialists, I am firmly confident that the peoples and governments of the fraternal socialist countries and the peace-loving and justice-loving countries in the world will still more vigorously support and help the Vietnamese people until total victory in their struggle against U.S. aggression, for national salvation. The Vietnamese people will win. The U.S. aggressors will inevitably be defeated. Long live a peaceful, reunified, independent, democratic, and prosperous Vietnam. Compatriots and fighters throughout the country, march valiantly forward.